The following video contains spoilers. We suggest watching the episodes alone in the dark. Hey, Wolfpack! How we doing? You're tuning in with your favorite chaotic cat here on WOLF Radio. In the morning, your local catcaster is back with a special request tonight, picked by
A Dark Side.
It seems we've got another tentpole tale from our underrated horror saga. The Devil's Advocate is a big name for fans of this series, as it's also an iconic classic. Many adore it for the eerie atmosphere, tense slow burn storytelling, thought-provoking themes, social commentary, and naturally, shockingly morbid twists. However, what elevates it higher than most from the dark dimension is that this episode, honest to you all, stars comedy legend Jerry Stiller.
Serenity now! Serenity now!
Yes, for reals, the dark side has Jerry the Grouchman Stiller acting as our main character. Similar to The Haunting Hour's Uncle Howie, this is a dark comedy, if still spooky story, made golden thanks to its celebrity guest star. Not to give away too much, but yes, he is laugh out loud hilarious. And it's wild that the show had such a powerhouse performance behind it. But
That comes later.
for those unaware, The Devil's Advocate is a surprisingly subtle cautionary tale, with a simple life lesson reforged brilliant thanks to some keen writing, simple frights, and naturally an amusing protagonist. Horror legend George A. Romero penned this script himself, as he sought more involvement on his show. Ironically, this was simply him doing a dumb fun filler short in between his films for a laugh, though you would not believe how much love this fable won. This entry is seen as one of the greatest hits of all time for the Terror Tales saga. Not only do fans worship it, but outside crowds also have a decent time watching where it goes. And just like Tom Kenny as a killer host, Jerry Stiller also delights as one here too.
And you stand there and watch?
Some fans go so far as to always list this fable on their top 10 best episodes lists, because it's that good. Now some outsiders or naive viewers may be asking, how good can it possibly be? Well, that's what we plan to find out. I love the dark side, and would love to see if it indeed holds up. Is this tale truly another masterpiece for horror records, or is it all talk? Let's find out. So kick back and relax, dear listeners, because your favorite kitty cat's taking you on one hell of a ride. This is our broadcast of the demonic track, The Devil's Advocate.
You're listening to Mandrake, the Devil's Advocate, on 970 TALK.
So, our episode opens up at a radio station, where we're instantly introduced to our main character, Luthor Mandrake, played by the great Jerry Stiller. Luthor's a shock jock radio talk show host who absolutely hates everything. And I do mean everything. Mr. Mandrake's a sour, jaded, rude, cynical grump who hates the world. He hates life. He hates the stress it comes with. He hates society, and he especially hates people. The guy's practically Archibald Beechcroft 2.0.
You can't talk to me like this. I'm a human being.
Yeah? Well, I'm a human being too, madam. A human being who's fed up with the human condition. I despise people. I loathe them.
If it isn't obvious, Mandrake's our villain protagonist, as the guy's entire persona is bitter hatred. Every word out his mouth is a complaint, he never cracks a smile, and he even enters his show extremely pissed, despite being held up by police since a guy died in his car. Even his own engineer hates him. This techie dude sits in the background and never utters a single line, but it's made clear even he can't stand his boss.
I
say I haven't missed a broadcast in 13 years, and I'm supposed to miss a broadcast because this wino can't find a better place to croak than behind the front wheel of my car?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
In layman's terms, Luthor Mandrake's a major dick, on and off the air. Though unlike many unlikable leads, Jerry Stiller totally owns this role. This episode would not be half as good without him under the mic. Stiller grants Luthor a realistic believability to the character, has fun going on these dour tangents, does act over-the-top doofy numerous times, and reads off his lines in a serious deadpan tone, making the guy darkly hilarious to watch. Mandrake's a love-to-hate character, as while he is a dick, he's at least a funny dick.
You're on the air? Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm in New Mexico.
What the hell do we need a New Mexico for? The old one is raunchy enough.
And ironically, his scuzzy attitude has made him famous. No kiddin', his talk show is literally just him going on long rants full of pure hatred and unfiltered anger, bitching about the world. That's it. His show, titled The Devil's Advocate, is all about him and random callers popping in, bitterly ranting and complaining about how much life sucks, making his show the #1 podcast.
I'll tell you what I think about cops, exactly how I think. No holds barred, no punches pulled, about cops, about anything and everything.
This guy would be relevant today. One of the reasons why this episode's still topical now is not just because of Jerry Stiller, but the character feels so real. Luthor Mandrake uses his voice and fame to influence everyone into thinking like him by airing out all emotional baggage or decrying the world as a wretched hive full of scum and villainy. And the saddest part is, people believe him. He's brutally honest, and billions are drawn to him since he shares probs like ours, or so it seems. In his own words, he made it up to the top because people care about what he has to say, yet his fame and validation has only corrupted himself as well. He plays misunderstood hero in lecture society, but in reality, he's anything but heroic. So you get it.
He's an asshole.
But what's the plot actually about? Truth be told, this is another classic Dark Side bottle episode. The radio station is the prime setting only shown in the whole episode. It's just Mandrake in his broadcasting booth hosting his diss track show before some strange spooky shenanigans soon occur. There's a more eerie, tight atmosphere all throughout here, as some odd things begin popping up, yet overall it aims for a metric ton of dark comedy, since most of it goes towards Jerry Stiller's snappy one-liners and long speeches.
I take care of myself. I see what's coming and I prepare for it. I don't get caught with my pants down like you farmers. We gotta save the farmers, save the railroads, save the jobs in steel. I give up.
This is not one of the Dark Side's creature features or monsters in the dark plots, but rather a deep character study. We learn more and more about Mandrake the longer this plays out, discovering who he is, why he's the way he is, and exactly how much can having a lousy life truly justify. Luthor constantly shields and rationalizes his jerk behavior by claiming he just tells it how it is, and that he's a victim too.
Bullshit!
The show teaches a rather strong moral that just because your life sucks doesn't excuse your sour actions. Half the episode is simply showing off what a colossal douche this guy is. And while Jerry is funny at it, he's still not a paragon or right for acting this way. The point is, it deconstructs his personal trauma and calls him out. I really love this concept, since while we do get Stiller dropping some dark zingers and even serious truth bombs, he still allowed his negative emotions to break him, and has become the very thing he hates.
Now they laid him off.
What did your husband do for 24 years?
He's a steam fitter.
A steam fitter for 24 years? I wouldn't be a steam fitter for 24 minutes. He's lucky he's lost his job. Go on out and celebrate, why don't you?
I just called to tell you what I thought.
What you thought? You mean you actually thought, sir? Once? What, are there nothing but losers out there today?
Oh, I knew I shouldn't have called you.
Then why did you?
A neighbor lady talked me into it.
Neighbor lady? What does this neighbor lady run your life here? You do everything this neighbor lady tells you to do?
I'm an old bastard!
Throughout the entirety of this, Mandrake takes a dozen calls to either rant or simply hurl abuse and bile, smack-talking random innocent viewers, showing that he doesn't care about the common man like himself. Heck, even some callers initially start out as his fans, only for them to tell him off too because of how cruel he is, exposing that this guy is so mean that he hates his own crowd and can't act kind for a second since he lost his own joy.
My son was the only passenger killed when a car full of drunken teenagers hit a pothole that should have been repaired by one of you idiots out there and skidded into a tree.
This succeeds at a lesson a ton of recent stuff fails at, showing and explaining how the bad hand he was dealt in life is no excuse for abusing others, nor acting obnoxious. Alas, Luthor's too arrogant, self-absorbed, and entitled to agree, or see error in his ways.
They'll never stop listening to me, Watchman. They can't tune me out.
Bullshit!
This legit feels like the moral that Joker 2 and Thunderbolts failed at. How we all have problems, but that doesn't grant us any excuse to lash out at the rest of the world because we had bad days. Mandrake has had terrible things happen to him too, but he's no different from the rest of us. You do feel a small fraction of sympathy for him, as it makes Luthor more human than most evil pro-tags. His mom died on a plane crash, his dad died in a protest, his son's dead from a DUI crash, and his own wife is stuck in a coma due to incompetent medical treatment. It explains why he became this way, but it doesn't excuse it. Why? Because we all have problems, and taking your pain out on everybody or playing victim all your life is unhealthy.
My guess is no one's ever loved you before. Because you know nothing about hearts and love.
Honestly, this is a rather profound message, and still feels important today, especially when you realize that Mandrake is not the common working man. He's a rich celebrity with a mic. He makes thousands every night, lives in a luxury apartment, has a job where people listen to and worship him, and drives a freaking Rolls Royce, clearly highlighting how he's dwelled so much on the negatives.
How can you stand it, sir?
What?
Watching while other people go through life having it all.
I'm an old bastard!
However, halfway through, suddenly some supernatural omens arise. Yeah, the Jerry Stiller show kinda goes on for such a long while that you almost forget we're waiting for the dark side. Things take a turn into Silent Hill once Luthor gets haunted.
Yes, haunted!
This is where terror time begins. A tad later than usual, but it's quite dazzling. Luthor receives bizarre phone calls, all claiming to be from different time periods. Every caller says he sucks, and at random moments, his body seems to mutate. Mandrake suddenly grows a werewolf mane, and his hands become demon claws.
Gross!
It's a minor amount of mind screw horror, which keeps you guessing. But we get to the best part when he finally gets a clue that there's something strange in the neighborhood when his engineer's entire office is gone.
Dun dun dun!
I love the large scares they save for last because they're ludicrous. His coworker and his entire engine room vanish. But also, there are no exits, no other people, flashing lights on his monitor, and only incoming calls. None out to the rest of the world. He's trapped. Mandrake flips out, overwhelmed by all the voices and his hairiest adventure, until he's contacted by the boss.
Mandrake. Hello.
It's the nostalgia critic's voice for God?
I heard what you were saying about me being a loving god or a vengeful god.
Yeah?
You were wrong. I'm a vengeful god.
Oh.
Your ass is grass.
Actually, no, it's not God, but Satan. Yes, sirree, the devil steps in, metaphorically, to grant our twist ending. He explains that Luther Mandrake's dead and is in hell, for he died before the episode even began.
Luther Mandrake, known to radio listeners as the Devil's Advocate, was found dead tonight behind the wheel of his Rolls-Royce in the parking lot beneath his lavish apartment building on the city's Nob Hill.
What a twist!
Satan reveals that Luther perished in his own car earlier, and he's the newest recruit down in the Inferno. But he doesn't actually seek to punish him, he wants to hire him.
What?
The devil's a hardcore fan of his talk show, and took the liberty of remaking his office in the underworld, because he desires Mandrake carrying on his podcast for him. You see, thanks to Luthor's hit show, the devil gained billions of new souls to form an army, and has more sinners than he knows what to do with. Hell's population has increased, because all these wicked souls were inspired by Mandrake's show. Thanks to Luther's hate-mongering, he convinced more people to turn to sin and evil. Endless souls gave up on life, gave up on good, and grew into jerks like Luthor, because they were encouraged by his words. He convinced them that the world was terrible, so they abandoned all virtue, leading to the Big Red Ghoul himself admiring Mandrake for generating so much evil. So, as a reward, he wants a DJ, a new entertainer to amuse all the damned souls of hell. That's right, Jerry Stiller is the radio demon.
Oh, this will be fun.
This is such an insane twist, I love it. I'm flabbergasted how this show goes from 1 to infinity. While we got several hints that Luthor was dead all along, the big reveal that not only is he in hell, but is hired by Satan to be his advocate is so nightmarish. Mandrake isn't just dead, but he dragged Lord knows how many souls down with him. Luthor thought he was the good guy, only to have Satan himself prove he wasn't. The devil wants him among his inner circle, entertaining the Legion of Hell for all eternity, because he was more evil than him. This is why I love horror. Also, it really says a lot that this show somehow made being the DJ of hell scary. Wait a minute, what happened to the old Inferno DJ?
They're coming.
So, downer ending. Mandrake's dead, is bought out by Lucifer, the devil wins, and our host has only left behind a legacy of evil, as he made the world a worse place. We conclude on Luthor, now in full demon form, suffering his grim fate, taking calls from the damned and amusing them forever, as he breaks down.
This show's been going downhill since season 3.
I must admit, despite the show's low budget limits, I admire the makeup job on Demon Mandrake. He looks like an orc from Lord of the Rings. Very stupendous, even today. A shame his office doesn't come with a mirror. Anywho, that's our broadcast of the Dark Side hit single, The Devil's Advocate. And it's still sweet music. This episode's wicked, both metaphorically and literally. I totally see why this is a beloved classic. The Devil's Advocate starts out relatively slow and simple, but when it picks up speed and Stiller starts chipping away his humanity, it spirals into a warped descent into madness. It goes without saying, but Jerry Stiller absolutely steals the show, with a performance that outshines Debbie Ryan's Mean Girl persona. He's so darkly hilarious, sharp-tongued, quick-witted, and miraculously tragic tragic in a few areas. While Luthor does have a relatable sob story, the episode goes balls deep on its lesson, on how it doesn't give him a free pass to mistreat others, and spew hate every waking moment. At its core, this is clearly a cautionary tale, warning others to not let hardships break you into something worse, or let other people with their own unsorted baggage spread their negativity onto you. For all his woe is me and life sucks talk, it clearly made Luthor into a bad person. The episode teaches you to not be blinded by hate. Unfortunate events happen to everyone, but that's no excuse to lash out or hurt others. Ironically, Luthor Mandrake did have a better place in life than most. He's making big bucks, has a studio apartment, drives a luxury ride, had a family, and even hosts a hit show that trillions listen to. Yet he's still miserable, to the point where his negativity eventually consumed him and dragged him down. The worst part is, Mandrake is also a huge influencer whose bad habits rubbed off on others, giving Satan a surplus of sinners since all Luthor's petty hate did was spread more hate.
Only to repeatedly trip and tumble down to the fiery pit of failure.
Kind of giving us warning to not let others with issues hand out life advice when their own lives are in piss shape. In poetic irony, Mandrake lived to complain about how evil the world was, only for him to contribute in spreading that same evil around the globe, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy since he only made more jerks like him.
I knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
These are simple themes, but it's super effective. Telling people the basic moral to not be a dick will always be vital, yet this had a very unique spin, keeping it fresh. Though of course, the surreal storytelling's also a highlight. It's a very impressive feat how this arc, mainly about a lone man screaming in a tiny room, could end up being the most entertaining watch of this show. But that's how great George A. Romero's writing is. This is nothing new, but enhanced by a stellar one-man show, eerie atmosphere, claustrophobic cinematography, deep ideas, and a crazy twist that goes beyond. Sadly, there's only one nitpick I have, but it's a big one. Namely, it's not super scary. Don't get me wrong, the dark ending and hell magic packs some good existential terror, but I didn't find it as creepy as previous Darkseid fables. Honestly, it feels very grounded until the halfway mark, but when the supernatural does enter, it doesn't go as spooky as you'd hope. That doesn't make it bad, but I don't think emotional drama is everyone's cup of cream. Nevertheless, I'd still strongly recommend it, since it's fire. A cautionary tale worthy of instant replay. So, I grant this tale a gold skull, quite close to perfection, but I don't think it'll be everyone's top spot, though it's definitely among the smash hits. The Devil's Advocate deserves more praise, since this is one frightmare you'll wish to tune in. I'm your DJ, Catastrophe, and... Whoops, phone call. Hey, boss. What? We've been cancelled? What the heck's a Leafy? That's it? But who could replace us?
It's Magic Hour with dark chocolate.
And the ride!
In God we trust.
97.1 Giggity giggity goo.
What the hell do we need a New Mexico for? The old one is raunchy enough.